Many years ago, Mr. Krabs locked a sailor in a locker and forgot to let him out. Now all that remains is a pile of white bones, and the locker has become very strange. When Squidward crawled inside, he discovered a completely different scene. The space looked enormous, but what was even more peculiar lay behind the walls. A new day in Bikini Bottom, Mr. Krabs brought a locker to the kitchen. SpongeBob was curious and reached out his hand, only to have his arm gnawed down to white bone by a swarm of sea spiders. This was a locker Mr. Krabs had used during his time in the Navy. When opened, a skeleton appeared right before their eyes. Only then did Mr. Krabs remember that years ago he had locked a sailor inside and forgotten to release him. Mr. Krabs figured it should be fine. After all, it was for the employees to store their things. Squidward took one look and flat out refused. He absolutely would not put his precious clarinet in there. Mr. Krabs immediately said if he didn't want to use it, fine. He wasn't going to buy a new one anyway. SpongeBob immediately started cleaning the locker. After cleaning, it looked as good as new. Seeing how thoroughly SpongeBob had cleaned it, Squidward decided to put his clarinet inside. Squidward warned SpongeBob not to touch his clarinet, but before long, he saw SpongeBob hunched over inside the locker, rummaging around for something. When Squidward asked what he was doing, SpongeBob said he thought the locker looked too ugly, so he was lining it with velvet fabric. The interior instantly became luxurious. Squidward looked it over carefully and didn't say anything, but then SpongeBob brought over a whole bunch of tools. Squidward immediately sensed danger. These things might crush his clarinet. Squidward got angry and threw the register money on the floor, causing a bunch of customers to scramble for it. When money-loving Mr. Krabs saw this, he jumped out and scared the customers away. When Squidward came to check, all the tools had already been stuffed inside. When Squidward opened the locker, he was shocked. What was going on? This small locker now had enormous space inside. It had become a huge storage room. SpongeBob explained that he had expanded the space a bit and put all the items in proper storage compartments. Seeing that his clarinet was fine, Squidward felt relieved, but still reminded SpongeBob not to touch his clarinet. At noon, Squidward heard loud noises coming from the locker, and it was shaking back and forth. Worried about his clarinet, Squidward immediately ran over to check. When he crawled inside to look, he was surprised to find that the space had grown even larger, and his clarinet was no longer in the drawer. Only a small note remained, indicating the clarinet's new location. But the space was so vast that Squidward got lost wandering around. Then Squidward suddenly spotted a hole. When he crawled through it, he found himself in a room that looked like a performance venue. When Squidward pulled back the curtain to look, he was stunned.